great. There are platforms where you, there are platforms where you will carry on, exposing your business and talking about your business. But when it is about talking to your customers, the key thing is to listen to them. How do you listen to your customers? How engage them and ask them questions and seek to understand. Not so that you can ask a question, they answer the way you want it to be answered so that it fits to your product or for your service. No, you have to ask questions that are open-ended and allow them to answer them in terms of what they need, right? I'll talk to a fancy way we do this, and we've done this at EABL a lot. We did this at Safaricom a lot. And a point to note, at Zuku, we didn't do research processes too much because it was a young company. So I am aware you will not afford to do research at certain points. And it was a very well-funded, venture capitalist funded organization. However, research was just not at the top of the priority. So we had to look at other ways of finding out about our customers. So it's possible. So I'll start by saying at EABL, where you've got funds, Safaricom, where you've got funds to enable this, what we do as a research process is literally going into focus groups. There are two formats. One of them is focus groups, and this is very qualitative. You put customers in a room and you ensure that they are, you cover all the age segments and you talk to them, yeah? And what we do is when they're there, because now everything has gone digital, they're normally told that you're going to be put in a room, it's going to be recorded, and we're going to ask you questions about the products and the services, marketing, everything. We ask them, and it's a third party, so that you don't come and say, like for me now, if I'm running M-Pesa, I won't come and bias the conversation so that you just give me positive feedback about M-Pesa. It's random research people who are going to ask the questions, and customers are given the platform to give back feedback. And we go through this feedback. It's done every quarter. Some of it is done every month. Net Promoter Score is done every month. And here it is raw feedback about why customers love your product, why customers don't like your product. And there's nothing more humbling than this. But it forces you to absolutely understand what your customer needs are. Yeah, you don't go around doing what you think they want. You actually are forced to go into that box of, hey, but the customer said this. So when you give this solution, it's not working. The customer said night bundles are not working for them. They prefer during the day when they are hustling to get valuable bundles. How are you delivering this product to them? Yeah. So it's it forces a lot of engagement as colleagues so that you can give the best product to customers. At EABL, another research process that is done is literally hanging out with your customers, right? So it was spending a day in a life with the customer. So if they're going to, we did this a lot, especially with businesses. How do you start your day? You start the day with them, and you're talking. And it's very, you're guided in terms of what questions to ask, how to engage, and it's about their business. Get to know what's bothering them, how do they, deal with certain challenges. You're talking to them. What is important to them when they're interacting with your products and all of that. And the day used to end up obviously in the evening, and now all of you chat together, and you're able to, to make certain conclusions, right? So what is the point that I'm making here? Big companies, as EABL and Safaricom, have got a lot of research data that they have, but they continue to invest in this so as to continue understanding the customers. Now, SMEs, MSMEs may not have the budget to go into research. However, there are certain organizations that, we have our census report every 10 years. We have got industry reports that different industries have shared their own reports do you take the time to analyze these reports so that you can understand the spaces that your consumers are in? But then also you as an individual, you as your employees, how do you engage with your trade visits? Very simple. Again, something that we used to do a lot at Zuku. Go out to customers and understand. We used to say knock on doors, right? You go and knock on doors and actually really understand what it is. In fact, for Zuku, it was so critical because it completely changed our way of marketing, because we realized the people we are marketing to are not parents. The people who need to talk about Zuku are children. So programming was influenced by children. So, and we're calling it the pester power. So if the children know about kids programming within Zuku, they will tell the parents, and the parents are so busy hustling or whatever it is that they are doing, they will want to, sort of calm the children. And for them, entertainment on Sunday or on Saturday when they're busy doing other things became a go-to thing. So if the kids said Zuku, the parent bought Zuku. And this we only learned from knocking on doors. Before, we were positioning our products from, we've got this news, we need to get CNN, but we realized parents actually prefer local content in terms of news. They want to know what's going on in their own country first, and then international. But then they will, if they are constrained to make money, for them, they will sacrifice themselves. But when it comes to their children, they will absolutely give in. So that was absolutely critical. So for you, understand what your customer wants and when they want it. Lesson number 2, and I'll move a little bit faster now. How do they want to receive your product and service? Yeah, because many times you determine it for yourself based on your own convenience. And I heard that logistics is a problem. So obviously take this point with a bit of asterisk, because obviously you don't want to go and blow your budget from a logistics perspective. But I'll share with you one lesson from Equity Bank, their service system through the branches. Equity Bank realized the type of customers that they want to go to likes to come to the bank and be comfortable in the bank, right? So right from the branding of the brown color that Equity Bank does, because you've got branches in up in rural areas, you have branches in cities, but in the market, so you want your customer to come in and be comfortable. So for them, they didn't want the customer to come in and feel uncomfortable. So the brown color, if you're from the farm, you can go directly to the bank without flinching. Other banks were too clean and pristine. Yeah, you feel like you have to go and change first, Sunday best, wear your Sunday best before you go into the bank. So understanding how your customers want to receive the product is absolutely critical, and that lends to how Equity branded itself, right? So for you, and even some of them, they realized customers are risking so much. They earn in the market, but then they're and it's cash based at the time. It was very cash based, and then they are losing money to thieves and whatever is happening before they go to the branch to bank in the evening. So what they realized is they put up a van in the beginning, and that's what they did. In the marketplaces, there are branches nearby, but then also there are vans that come even nearer to the market. So once you do you can quickly go and do your banking if you receive a bit of cash. So you're secure as a farmer. So understanding your customer is critical in terms of how they want to receive their system. Lesson number 2 from Equity Bank, collateral system for bank loans. And I'm sure you know this a lot. What they realized is that people may not have, land, pieces of land, or the typical collateral things that you require for collateral for you to get a bank loan. So what they did is, instead of doing all that, they came and realized, my customer, this cow of theirs is absolutely important. This chair that they have bought, so I said, they saved for X amount of time, so that this is important to them. Yeah. So they said, this is how we are going to link the collateral, because this is so important to them. They'll take care of this cow, then we can give them a bank loan based on this cow, because they will not want to lose this cow. And there are different system of collateral chattels was made, and they were able to attract and open up their market a little bit further. In EABL, another lesson which is very different from that, if you're in the industry, entertainment or drinks, beverage, food industry, understanding what is the perfect serve is absolutely important. So we know Kenyans, for example, don't like very cold drinks. And this was a phenomenon that was very interesting, because Kenya being in the equator, you would assume that we have sun a lot. So you'd assume perfect drink here would be a cold, chilled drink. No, Kenyans have, for some reason, have a throat issue. So what happened was, because some clients would prefer cold drinks, others would prefer warm drinks, EABL realized when you go to the bank, to the bar, what happens is that people are asking for 2 drinks. One chilled, one, if you're asking for a beer, one chilled and one warm, yeah? Then you mix for yourself so that it reaches to the right temperature, yeah? Or you start with the warm one, and by the time you're drinking the chilled one, it has already become warm temperature. So based on this, they learned that, and the program that became the perfect serve for alcohol is how do you serve in twos. And this really helped solve so many problems. So there was a waiter program that incentivized waiters, not customers. The incentive here was on waiters in terms of how they serve, yeah, to ensure that things go in twos. And for them, they were happy because they didn't want to keep on coming back. It helps their going to the bar and to the customer become easier because you're serving in twos, so it became easier. They went on to say the bottle serve for if you're drinking spirits, right? So where you serve a bottle and then, you know, a couple of sodas over there. So it became understanding how your customers want to receive their product is a critical way of servicing them and marketing to them. My last point in this slide is a product substitute. Understand why and when. And the lesson I'm going to speak about here is M-Pesa, and this is a live lesson that we are currently ongoing now. For people like you and me, M-Pesa made a difference in our lives. We used to send money, it was difficult, right? So when M-Pesa came, it was a convenient technology. Come to this day and age, it is not the same. Because our children who are now maybe in their 20s, you know, then they've grown up with M-Pesa. So for them, they don't know life before M-Pesa. So when you talk to them and you tell them M-Pesa is so convenient, they just don't understand you. So what we are doing as M-Pesa is figuring out how do we make M-Pesa convenient for this generation of customers who are coming on board. Anyone who's 20 and below, because that's what, just about, M-Pesa is about 18 years old. So anyone who's, then they know M-Pesa, so you have to give them a new unique selling point so that they can appreciate M-Pesa the way most of us in this call appreciate M-Pesa, because now what they're saying, it's too expensive. We don't want to pay those charges, yeah? And it's because they are not seeing the uniqueness of what M-Pesa did. So that lesson has to keep on doing. So main points from here: know what your customer wants, and you can only know if you listen to them. Know how they want the product or service that you're giving them, yeah, and know when your substitute will come and change over. So you have to be on top of your point. You have to keep innovating. You have to keep evolving. Next point. Understanding, so basically this is your 4 P's of marketing, right? Understanding your playing field. Another critical, in fact, this is what, when you're getting any marketing training, this is a slide that you will most likely get, right? Which is understanding your business and understanding your world, yeah? Now, there are 7 P's at this point, but I think the original 4 P's are so critical and need to keep on being emphasized when you want to understand your playing field, right? Many businesses, again, start off very well, but then fall back in this area. So your businesses, the tool that you have is these 4 P's in terms of, you know, framing your mind frame and thinking through it, and going through these points over and over will keep you honest and refining what your business is about. So your product, you have to always remember your unique selling proposition, and is it still unique? So going back to the M-Pesa example, how are you going to be evolving as you go forward? Product performance. Now, many people, and I'll give an example of an SME that I have been working with privately, yeah, where they are frozen foods, yeah. So you have many products, a line of products, yeah, but you forget to track which one is doing well. So they had githeri, which was, started off very well. Then they had also frozen vegetables, traditional vegetables that, that are there as well. So what happened is that one of their products was not doing so well, but in their mind, this is the one that was giving the most convenient. So they stopped, they almost, in fact, the traditional vegetables were doing so well, but the owner of the business didn't think these traditional vegetables would do so well. So they didn't keep on manufacturing. They kept on focusing on githeri, because to them, githeri is what made a big difference when they were thinking of the business. Yeah. So if you don't evaluate your product performance, your various product performance over and over, you might almost pull back the growth of one line just because you're not clear about what customers are asking for, what they are appreciating, what they are saying matters to them. So it's absolutely critical for you to keep on checking your product performance and actually record that. Yeah, don't take it for granted. Price, perceived value. Now, the point I would like to make here is many SMEs leave money on the table, right? Because you may price competitively. Yeah, you're coming in as a competitor, so you look at the other products and you price right around there. Yeah, yet maybe your packaging is better, or your service delivery in terms of distribution is better, or people will pay for this convenience. So if you look at your product and you're absolutely aware of what your competition is doing, then don't leave money on the table. Ensure you price accordingly. Yeah, I'm not saying overprice because you will get people away. This is a delicate balance. So you always have to start by trial. Yeah, start by trial. It could be one of your product in your range of products, one of them. See how it is doing as you pursue the rest. And you have opportunities to take price, right? So at the beginning of the year, towards the end of the month, when people are not feeling so tight, depending on the cycle of your product, there are certain times, Christmas period, there are certain times that you're able to take price without bearing a lot of, pushback from your customers. So you have to really waive that. Now, as you price, remember your cash flows. And I'm sure you've been spoken to about cash flows earlier in your other trainings, because there's a difference between cash flows and profit. Yeah. So ensure that, and I put cash flows here because it will also determine your marketing budget. So when I'm speaking about market budget a little bit later, just remember, it is those cash flows. So you shouldn't necessarily have to borrow to fund your marketing. This is an operational expense. So you have to live within what you're able to produce and a certain percentage of it. Don't go too far. We also, even with big budgets, we have to remain within a certain area of our funding so that we don't overshoot it. Now, when people are speaking to you about promotion, this is what many people consider marketing, but as you can see, it is just one of them. Yeah, and the key questions that you ask yourself in promotion is, what does your customer want to know? There's what you want your customer to know, but what does your customer want to know? So again, this goes back to absolutely knowing your customer, what their needs are, so that you can communicate them. So it goes to the next point. How do you tell your customer what they want to know? Yeah. What do your customers want to know? How do you tell them? Now, how do you tell them is very different. I'll give only one use case, and it's from Coca-Cola, or Coke. Coke did a very good job at this. So we were all advertising at some point, beverages, we were all advertising either during news, in and around news time, because that's where you get a lot of footfall, listening or watching. That's where it is. Then Coca-Cola decided to separate. Yeah. So for them, they went to what they ended up calling thirst moments, right? So they moved from news, high traffic, and they went to when it matters to the customer. So Coke started advertising around lunch hour, actually from 10, 11 o'clock, that's when they started advertising. And they realized as many people, when they're working, energies are getting low towards 11 o'clock. And they would pick up until 3 p.m. Then towards the evening, when people are now going home or whatever it is, the mindset is very different. It's not about sitting down to enjoy a Coca-Cola. So, and their sales really did change. Yeah. In fact, this was a lesson from a training session with our media agency, as they were telling us about shifting your advertising to a moment that matters. So how do you tell them? when do you tell them is absolutely critical. How they were telling them is you open a Coca-Cola and you hear someone actually drinking that Coca-Cola. So it really opens up your cues for thirst. You look for a soda because in your mind, you've been triggered to that space, right? So the question to ask yourself is, how do you tell your customer? When is the moment that it matters the most for the customer to know about your product? So you don't just go to that one thing. Another common mistake that I see is everyone now knows about influencers. Everyone is using influencers to market. They are beginning to be more and more expensive. But you have somebody who is talking about your product and customers don't think that person is important to tell them about. So for example, Caroline Motoko is a very well-known person. She has got high ratings in terms of people who follow her. But is she the right person to talk to you about tires? You know, if you're in the tire industry, will your customer listen to Caroline Motoko about tires? So know who to use to talk, who do your customers want to hear from when they are talking about your product, yeah? And yeah, with all permission from Caroline Motoko, so I'm not defaming her. The point I'm trying to make is that she can do great product promotion for certain things, not for everything. So ensure you align your product to the person who's talking about it. Lastly, I'll talk about placement, and placement and distribution is be available when it matters. You can do a lot of work in terms of marketing, but then logistics fail you, yeah? So even as you do your promotion, ensure when somebody asks for it, they're able to get it. So don't promote if you're not placed where people want to pick you up, yeah? So all these 4 factors work very well together, and ensure when you're thinking through your business, you think through all 4 of them, because together they are the ones that propel your marketing plan. Then your world. Your world is something that sometimes people look at very negatively, yet it can be used very positively for you, yeah? So your competition, what are their strengths? Not only weaknesses, what are their strengths, yeah? And how do you know about their strengths? Listen to customers' feedback. And because customers will always tell you about your business, they will also tell you about why they prefer other businesses. They are very nice in terms of giving feedback. Yeah, they're very easy and very, amiable to that. So listen to your competition from their customers' perspective. Observe at what they are doing, and take that in as a lesson, right, to propel your organization. Always look at the economy. We all know about this COVID-19 blessed versus cursed, yeah? And the question here, which is core, and many of us have done so much to ensure we go around this, because it was a huge blow that hit all the business, be they big, be they small. COVID really had a big impact. And I'm glad I'm having this conversation at the back end of restrictions being loosened, yeah, because that gives a lot of hope to many of us and our businesses. So it's a useful place to be in at the moment, right? So, but how do you ensure whatever is happening in the economy, you're on the blessed side of it? You have to be on top of what is going on, yeah? So those industry reports that I was talking, whichever your industry is, yeah, the census reports, whatever, you just have to ensure that you know what is happening so that you're able to see trends to go ahead. I'll give you just one example from Zuku. Zuku, when we were starting off, we didn't know where do we begin, yeah? How do you target? And the one thing that helped us do is actually the census report, because that's when we started with. And funny enough, in that report, when they were looking at households, one of the key measures they look at is households with TVs, right? So we can't target everybody. So that really helped us narrow our focus, yeah? Because we started by saying, which are the households with TVs? Now, these people have gone through one barrier. Now, what we need to give them is satellite TV. We need to sell them a box so that their TV comes from 2 channels to, over 50 channels. So that was a point of engagement. So with that data, without that data point, our target would have been anyone and everyone, right? But that really helped us narrow down. In fact, it helped us even move, because what we realized is the number of TV households in rural areas was actually significant, right? So it helped us move our effort not only in Nairobi, which was the obvious thing to do, or cities around Nairobi and elsewhere in Kenya, but also go to rural areas, because there are people who really even needed the clarity, channel clarity and all of that. So ensure the information you're getting from, you get blessed from the information that you're getting from industry. Technology. Technology is there to resolve. And I know working for a technology company now, it is complicated. There are some things that you come in and you feel this is too much, yeah? But the heart that we are continually told to wear is, how do you use technology to resolve a solution for your customers, yeah? To resolve a problem, to provide a solution for your business, to provide a solution for your customer. So it cuts out all jargon. It helps you clarify what you really want for your customer. So I'll give you an example for M-Pesa. When launching Pochi La Biashara, a new technology, where you separate your wallet. So you've got your M-Pesa for individual, where you can fuliza, and then you've got your M-Pesa for your business, right? And these are people who don't have till numbers, because their businesses are either in formulation, they haven't reached that space, because you have to be properly registered and whatnot to get a till number. So as you're evolving there, and there are some people who are, we realize people are using their M-Pesa and it mixes their money for personal and their business needs. And then when you fuliza for your personal needs, you affect your business. So what we realize is that we need to use technology to separate these wallets for the customer, yeah? So when you start with what problem are the customers facing, yeah, then you use technology to provide to, or even to ask your providers for solutions. So technology is not to be feared if you approach it from what is the problem, what is the solution that I'm seeking. Lastly, culture. Now, culture is a very important point now, because so much is changing. Yeah, the internet, and this will speak to half of the slide for digital and social media, is around culture. The world has moved. People are consuming content in very different ways now. It is not the way we used to do before. Nowadays, we spend half of our media budget. We started off 30%, it has moved to 50%. It's spent on digital media. Yeah, your Facebook, your whatever we are doing with WhatsApp, whatever you're doing with Twitter, whatever we are doing with YouTube. Those channels are the ones that we're using to, because that's where our customers are right now. So for you, if you look at your business, the future of your business, where are your customers? You need to go and communicate to them where they are, not continually insist on what used to be there, like for example, TV. Yeah, radio still remains very, very relevant, but not traditional radio. Radio now is more regional because it's niche. It is, people are listening to certain presenters. People are listening to radio either in their language or something. So you have to, and this, if you go at that level, they are not expensive. You can actually advertise your product, and it's very targeted because it's around a region if you're doing regional based business. So it's absolutely critical for you to ensure that your ear is on the ground when it comes to the shifts in culture. My second last point is around time limited targets. Now, this for me is a surprise. And the one thing that I would like to leave with you today, if nothing else, is targets, how to create your goals, and you time limit them, because it makes a biggest shift. And now when you work in any organization, targets, in fact, you're measured using your targets, you're paid using your targets, your everything, conversations, promotions are using your target, everything is around targets. But what I find is that in many businesses, you're very laissez-faire about targets. You can say, I want to double my business, but you won't say my business revenue, but you won't say by when. Yeah, you sort of hope. Yeah, and half the time you're surprised. Yeah, that you're actually doing well. But time limited targets actually make the biggest difference within your organization, right? Because you're able to shift your thinking to ensure you meet your targets. And that is what we get from many corporates. You're given direction. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. The lesson I wanted to give you here is around Alvaro brand. Alvaro brand was created purely to compete. Yeah, what we realized is as a beverages company, soft drinks was penetrating a lot into the alcohol, and pubs. We used to like to dominate pubs. Yeah, so we realized, hey, there's a lot more that is coming from Coke, the mixers that are coming, and they're dominating the conversation here. So the share of wallet was being split with Coca-Cola. So we said they can't just eat the entire cake. So how do we, because our targets were becoming more and more aggressive from a wallet perspective, a whole brand was created to ensure that we have penetration within the pub space, right? So it just completely expands your horizon, which is my next point. When Senator Keg was introduced into the market, again, targets were asked, we have to grow by double digits within that year. Now, and EABL propagates responsible drinking. So you don't want somebody to, overly drink. No, that's not the point. So the question was, where do you get a new, sort of new market? So the realization there was the illicit brew market was absolutely critical. And again, that was a data point that came from at the time, what are we looking at? From these people who talk about illicit brew. I forget the name. But so the data point was from a government, I'll remember, a government data point where they were talking about illicit brew in the market and how it's damaging society. And over the police were going and pouring out the illicit brew. So the question was, there's a need here, yeah? The affordable, clean alcohol would be required at this level, right? So how do you create something that will penetrate there and compete with illicit brew and therefore have a safe drinking choice for customers and for Kenyans at that level? This all came from targets. And before even marketing was conversation started, there was what will be the packaging, yeah? So it can't go as a bottle because returnable is going to make it expensive because pricing was key. It has to be affordable. It has to be at that price of illicit brew. It has to be sold in a cup because that's how people want to drink their illicit brew. So you have to mimic certain cues, cultural cues within that area. So Senator King was purely developed coming off of an intention to double it was double-digit growth for EABL at the time that completely evolved and introduced this innovation. So targets are absolutely key. Again, it organizes your priorities. As a marketeer, when faced with any problem, yeah, the organization first comes to you and tells you, you market. Yeah, you go and say, we don't have sales. It's you people. You need to go and market. You need to promote. You need to advertise. You need to, But actually, when you have time-limited targets, you organize your priorities and say what actually is required first. In the example of Senator Keg, do we require to expand the production before we actually market? Do we need a new sales team to ensure that they are able to go different channels to go inside the slum areas or inside residential areas where the bars were not before, right? Where the spots where illicit brew is drunk, because it was a very cyclical way. The way they did it, it was after work, over the weekends as well, because they work, everyday laborers will work very early in the morning and go home very late in the evening. So bars could not be like in town, yeah, they needed to be where in the residential area. So a new system, so it organizes your priorities. I hope you can see that point. And then most and important of all, provides you drive, even when all else has when there's no more motivation, right? Having this time-limited target will give you drive, will help you create, organize yourself. Again, I'll go to the example of the frozen foods. When this owner got her targets, she realized she can't target, the people to target the best are actually not the women in a household. It's actually house helps. House helps are the ones who need their work to be made easier. So her promotion ended up being talking to house helps because they're the ones who will tell the owners nunua hii githeri, nunua hii vegetables, hii ndio mzuri, because it makes work easier for them. So it gives you drive, it keeps expanding your horizon constantly. And then now when you come to put your marketing spend, you put it in the right place. You're not going to broadcast to the wrong people. You can broadcast to, house helps within an estate, and you're able to move. So I hope you can see how all these things match even before you go and say, I want an ad to go out. Now, because I saw that digital marketing and social media is one of the things that you wanted to speak a little bit about in terms of the Mentimeter feedback, I'll speak about it a little. First of all, for those who are not in this field, you must appreciate the world has moved here, and it will continue to move here as products even evolve, yeah? And they will keep changing. We all didn't know, I think like Instagram will become important, and it's just about pictures. But Instagram is growing businesses, right? And the products that they keep loading within Instagram is helping not only businesses for young people, but then also businesses for older and maturer people, because it's easy to post those business solutions in there, and people are able to actually take them to WhatsApp. Yeah, and WhatsApp is where now many paying clients would be. It's less intrusive, and there. So digital and social media is here to stay. So acceptance is one of the greatest lessons that you can have. Now, a big advantage of digital and social media to unlock any mind that may be blocked is that it levels the playing field. I can't insist to you enough how much of an advantage I had at EABL, or now I have at Safaricom, because I've got budget, right? The organization has got a marketing budget, so it's easier for me to have the conversation in terms of advertising. However, what happens is that increasingly we are facing competitions from even small companies that are doing payment transfers. M-Pesa is facing competition from them, or banks that have come and put in an app. You're facing competition, and these will not typically have big budgets, but they're giving you a solution and communicating to the customer when the customer needs that communication the most, right? So what digital and social marketing does, it levels the playing field. Whether you've got a lot of money or you don't have a lot of marketing money, the playing field is leveled, and you're able to get in there and have a conversation too. So have hope. If you've got a product that is compelling, if you're in the catering business, if you are in agriculture business and you want to sell produce, tomatoes is what you want to sell. Digital and social media definitely levels the playing field. You can all get to the customer. And in fact, what it does, it ensures that you get to the customer in a very compelling way. Yeah. So you don't have to have big budget. You just have to have a good story to sell to your customer. They're able to connect to you. And we all know customers prefer personal rather than, this big thing that is being sold to you. So you have hope. The point I'm making here is the playing field is level. Everyone can participate, and you don't need a big budget to go into this space. Yeah, I've spoken about it is relevant now and in the future, so that remains a point. Yeah, it is not complicated. And what happens is that there are so many products, you can do this and that and the other. So here, my biggest tip for starting, to understand this space is that you have to understand your customer. Yeah. Now I'll give an example of a high-end cloth designer who was using WhatsApp. Their customers will be on WhatsApp. There's no problem. So what they did is they put their WhatsApp customers in a group. They sell clothes. Yeah. They sell, clothes for the office, casual, very high-end Kenya. They are tailored in Kenya. And they are available in malls, and it's high end. So what happens is that they put all their customers into a WhatsApp group and started posting the clothes, the latest arrivals that are there. Now, surely, is this somebody who has understood their customer? This customer of theirs who wants to be the only person with that piece of dress, the only person with that jacket. Now you put them so that they see each other. They have each other's numbers, and now they're able to even know who else is shopping here. In fact, sales dropped. Yeah. Whereas all they wanted to do is raise awareness in this COVID era that we are still producing, that we are still doing this. The difference, and they changed strategy. The difference in what they did is they started communicating to their customers individually, because these customers come and pay, so you have their numbers. So they created an account and they stopped the group and started communicating individually, and their sales went back up. But the labor there was more. The person who was sitting in the shop wasn't going to have the easy job of sending one post to a WhatsApp group. No, they were going to have to send to each person and have individual conversation. So it's a harder play. But now they understood their customer and their need for privacy, right? And they were able to correct the mistake that they did, right? So if you understand your customer, you are 5 steps into this journey, yeah, because then you will know when to communicate to them and how to communicate to them. The other thing that I would like to say about this thing not being complicated is that there are people available. Many of us know, because of our situation, COVID, and also our economy where we are as Kenya, jobs are not available. So many people are freelancing and they are doing this at their homes. Yeah. So I say this with a little bit of, take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because you can easily ruin your brand if you go the wrong direction. Yeah. But there are people who even work for big organizations like our media agency. They've got people within their team, but these people do side jobs, right? So be brilliant enough to engage within the industry to understand these people who are experienced, how can they come and help your company get a digital footprint and be known? Because what you want is, when somebody is searching for, I don't know, breastfeeding pillows, that your company is the one that comes at the top. How do you ensure that that is happening? And that's a digital work stream that is required. And there are people who will, because they're doing multiple things, they're already employed, will do it very cheaply. So for me, I would say this is a big tip that I learned actually working at Zuku. You don't have to go and pay the big boys in terms of giving you strategies. There are people who are available and they will be able to do this, but it's up to you. You need to find out. You need to find out and be engaged in these digital circles so that you can be able to, sort of start off. Now, a quotable quote that I would like to share with you is from SMEs and digital marketing. So for one company, the frozen foods is a very close one for me because I've worked with them separately as they were growing their businesses. Yeah, so I'll give you a lot of examples from there. So feedback for them, social media has helped them get feedback from their customers. When for example their packaging was peeling off, a customer would take a picture and send in their social media. They would not delete that picture. They would actually address it, do a replacement, yeah, and then ensure at the back end packaging is getting better. Right? Customers will tell them what they want, what they don't want, what they want. This one, we want the githeri, we want the maize to be softer. This one, we want packaged in this way, you see? So there's a lot of feedback that you get. So for them, social media has been absolutely useful for getting that research that people like Safaricom pay a lot of money for. You're able to get very directly from your customers. A logistics company that I also supported, what they did is they realized through social media, digital and social media, they repositioned. They were moving company, and they were doing, they had looked at a certain, profiling of customer, yeah. But when they started posting on social media, they realized actually the people they were targeting, which was a 3-bedroom houses, 2-bedroom houses, 4-bedroom houses and bigger, actually rarely move. The people who move a lot are the single unit and 1-bedroom people, either because of job transfers or a change in business or opportunities have come up the other. So because of social media and where they were marketing, they actually repositioned their company and they started doing moves for the 1-bedroom houses and the single rooms a lot more. So it was cheaper for them. Logistically, it was also easier because they could do many more moves in a day because it's not complicated. And this was purely because of digital and social media. Yeah, I gave you the example of the clothing company who used WhatsApp wrongly. So now I'll pause there and I'll ask my colleagues so I think it's Daniel, yeah, at the SME Support Center to kindly play the video that will take us to the next place, which is your vision. So I'll stop sharing.
People know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. So you're a musical director? Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch.
People know that I do.
Sorry, I think it must have stopped somewhere.
I'll just skip to the play again. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That saved a wretch.
It looks like it has a technical problem at that point. So I think we can share it.
You can share it. Yeah, thank you so much for that. But I think the point has been made. and the point here being the difference. This is a guy who's a comedian, yeah, and you can, tell jokes and, people laugh, you make your money and you get out, yeah. But he says the difference for him is you have to know why you're telling jokes, and this expands your vision. This takes your vision from just being a comedian to a possible cast in a movie, as long as the movie is playing to your purpose, yeah. And as he was saying, his purpose is making a difference in people's lives, yeah. That's what his comedy is all around, right? So if you look at the example of the person singing, he's a music director. When you ask him, sing, he will do it and he'll belt it out very well, hit all the tones. But even judging from the audience in play that time, it is very, oh yeah, it's proper, this is good music, the man can sing. Now, when you tell him what is the reason why you're singing this song, Amazing Grace, and if the reason is there behind that, oh, here's my uncle, he's gotten out of jail, and Amazing Grace, how sweet a sound, then he sings it very different. Look at the difference in the audience in terms of how they react to him when he's singing with purpose. Absolutely different audience. People literally stand and come and hug him. People give him a standing ovation. When you're doing something that is actually based off of a purpose, the whole marketing mix comes together. Yeah. And great companies actually know this. If you look at many organizations that are making a difference in society, that are propelling despite whatever situation is there, they start off with, this is our vision. Safaricom is about transforming lives. Yeah. Decisions are based off of that. If we are looking at an investment, what a boardroom discussion, I kid you not, is always about how is this going to transform lives. If you're looking at M-Pesa product, it's not purely just about revenue. M-Pesa product changed lives 18 years ago. How is it going to continue impacting on people's lives going forward, right? If you look at the investment, that is one thing that is going on right now around DigiFarm. And the question is, farmers for a very long time have been struggling with how they bridge the gap between farm to fork. Yeah. So in between here, between middlemen, there is a marketplace that, sort of jumbles things up and the farmer loses a lot. So the question that is being answered by DigiFarm is, how do you connect the farmer to the market? Yeah. Such that his produce doesn't have to oscillate in terms of prices. It doesn't have to oscillate in terms of seasons, that you're able to add value. So that's a question that is being answered. We don't have the answer yet, but the journey is being undertaken. But everything is it is really infused because of that overall vision of transforming lives. It really makes a difference. So for you, your business, what is your amazing grace? What is your why? Why are you doing this? And it will help you completely change your marketing structure to ensure that you're doing it to reach that person, that need, to reach that, make a difference. Yeah. And this you have to do by yourself, because different brands have got different needs. And I'll take you to an example of EABL. EABL's vision is about celebrating lives every day. Yeah. So you can see how this is very different from transforming lives. But does it mean we should celebrate life? As a human need, I'm so complex. There are days where, yes, I want to party. I want to celebrate my achievements. I want to have a good time with my friends. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. So you appeal to that part of the human, that it's about celebrating life. So for you and your business, what is a vision? What's a purpose? What's a purpose for your business? And it will completely change how you even talk to your customers, so that they can understand what's in need for them. Yeah. So that ends my presentation today. So I'll stop there. I will leave there with the final slides that just summarizes there, just in case you missed the points. Over to you, Linda.
Thanks, Irene. Wow, very many rich lessons. Irene has poured her heart out of her experience. And a lot of questions, guys. I like the Q&A part also, so that we answer your questions directly. Yeah. So I'll start with Ruth Karambu, joining from YouTube. Yeah. The people in the YouTube, we have not ignored you. Remember, our Zoom limit is 300. Everyone else goes to YouTube. So Ruth is asking, how do I handle flooding customers when I have less funds and I already have pending loans? So they have customers and the growth is high. So how do they handle flooding customers when they have less funds and pending loans already?
So for you, Ruth, you have such a good problem, first of all.
Yeah.
Your problem is a good problem, so congratulations. Yeah, it's about fulfilling that need. Yeah, and it's a balance. Yeah, from a marketing perspective, what I would say, that is not where you should be putting your money right now. If customers are already in there and people are interested in your products, you shouldn't be spending dollar after dollar or shilling after shilling behind marketing. What you should be doing is focusing on fulfilling that need. But because you don't want to be completely quiet while this is going on, ensure that you get your customers to talk to one another. Yeah. So word of mouth is what is absolutely critical at this stage from a marketing perspective to ensure the conversation stays within there. So your job is to create platforms within which your customers can engage and speak to one another, recommend your products to one another, and even more broadly to other people. Yeah. So for you, where your limitation is in funding, don't go to look for other loans to fund marketing. Marketing should never be funded from loans, guys. Yeah. You have to be clever enough to use from your cash flows that are there. Yeah. And a general guidance would be 5%, by the way, revenue, 5%. You should go higher than that. So it forces you, especially as an SME, to really think tight and have proper solutions from a marketing perspective.
Wow, interesting. There was a lot of questions around the marketing budget. A lot of people have asked that, and you're saying it is 5% of the total revenue you make is what, maximum 5% is what should go into the marketing budget. Is that true?
Yes. Yes, that is true. Around 5%. Do not look for a loan for marketing. Yeah. No. Look for other ways of doing it. So if you have cash flows coming in, don't go beyond 5%. As you grow your business, then your 5% will carry on growing. Yeah. Even at Safaricom, our revenue actually, based off of our revenue, we are lower than 5% in terms of marketing spend. It's just that it's based off of a very big amount, right? So our general guidance is around 5% of your revenue.
Great. David Ochiel is asking, how do you price your product and services? David is in fintech, but speak generally. How can people price their product and services?
Okay. So if it's an existing product, obviously, the first step, if it's a competing product, the first step that you would obviously do is benchmarking, right? So you definitely have to look at what are the needs what are the other products, similar products that are there, and at what price are they going. But if you go in there, you also have to look at that price, are they moving or are they slow? So would people want to receive these products but at a less price, right? So that's where a bit of analysis begins to come in terms of pricing. So because I know most likely that if you're in fintech, that product already exists, the first step would be benchmarking, and then from there, adjust. If you have got a proper value add from the existing competition, then you can command a higher price, usually not significantly higher as you're penetrating into your market. So if you're looking at in percentage terms, percentage is a bad one. I think for this one, it's such I'm not sure you can do broad strokes for this one. You have to do an analysis job based off of the benchmarking work that you've done.
Okay, wonderful. Isoka Seth is asking, I'm in the energy sector. I run a petrol station in West Pokot. I'm trying to tap into this presentation approach and promotion. How can I best understand my customers? People who are doing petrol stations, people like those, how can they best understand their customers? That's a question.
Okay, so your customers, so over here, two things, it's your customers and your business, as I said, yeah? So, but for your customers, and you're in Kakamega and whatever, speaking to your customers in terms of their needs. So this is a petrol station. So you're probably going to be looking at motor vehicles. You're going to be looking at borders. I'm sure those will be significant. You're going to be looking at gas needs. You're going to be looking at, depending on your location, people who are in transit or if it's within town or whatever it is, yeah? So for those customers, you must begin by understanding their cycle. So do they fuel kidogo kidogo, or do they fuel big amounts? So that are they business customers? Are they people who are, employed, and therefore for them, employed people do these cycles, yeah? So for them, it's either end of the week or beginning of the week or whatever. So that begins to categorize your customers, and you're able to know, okay, in my area, borders are more frequent than than these people who come and fuel full tank, or these people who come and fuel 1,000. So that you begin to categorize. Now, based off of that, the people who are giving you the most returns are the ones you prioritize. So for Boda Boda, because they are on business, you have to ensure when they come, what is their experience within your petrol station? Yeah. So are they coming in? Are they being deprioritized? You know, when you go in some petrol stations, what you realize is some people may prioritize their vehicles, and then these other ones, you know, on the side. So you have to understand which customer is actually coming to you so that you prioritize their experience within that petrol station. And those are the things that we'll begin talking about. Those are the differentiation factors that you will say, hapa natritiwa vizuri, hapa naona wananielewa. People who come in, how your fuel attendants treat them. Is there even the payment details? Are they there? Are they easy to reach? Are they being honest about the fueling? Those are the issues that customers have at that place. Huyu mtu amenifuel vizuri ama ameweka kwa kibuyu ama amesifo. You know, those are the questions that anyone who is fueling, be it a motor vehicle, be it a big lorry, that they will be. So those are the things that you need to understand so that you ensure the experience within your area is befitting to your customers.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Very well answered. I love that. Kanogu Maturu is following up on your question. Does this 5% include salaries for the sales and marketing team? Does it include all those people?
No, the 5% I was speaking about was purely advertising. But when you're looking at your marketing mix, you have to look at the salaries and all of that. So for okay, the model that I was using, you separate that under your operation expenses, the sales, and yeah, because those you have to absolutely pay whether you're advertising or not. You know, advertising as a line, you can decide, I will not advertise this line, cancel. But sales and salaries and all of that is part of commission. So you have to pay for your revenue to move. So we separate the two.
Okay. Benjamin Maseka is asking, what should you advise one to do in a market where others are giving kickbacks to attract referrals?
Oh dear.
Very, very many questions. Yes.
Yeah, kickbacks. Kickbacks is a problem. I don't know that I am qualified to answer that in the context of this, but I think generally ethics, how you do your business, will always have an impact on you now and in future, right? So it's a decision that you have to take on very early on and choose whether you're going to partake of it or stay out of it, right? So for actually all the organizations that I've worked for, there was a very deliberate effort not to go into kickbacks. And a good example was EABL, because as you know, the alcohol industry, that is the order of the day through the chain, right? So my background, and now this I'm telling you as a personal experience as opposed to industry, this is the way you do it. I think for me personally, that's an area if you go into, it will be a cycle. You getting out of it will always be a problem. So if you choose not to go into it, there definitely it's going to be harder work. Yeah, it's definitely going to be harder work. And if you're a woman-owned business, that means it's already hard. Yeah, so it means it will be even harder. But staying the course of time, I have seen is worth it, right? So this one I answer from a very personal perspective, not necessarily from this is the way that will give you the biggest acceleration. Yeah. So for me, staying out of that has always been helpful.
Yeah, and I think they should really focus on differentiation and adding value and differentiating yourself in other ways so that the kickbacks doesn't become a limiting factor for the clients. But let me ask Angela and Jagi's question. It's a very good question. In a saturated market like manufacturing of natural products, so people who have natural products for skin and hair, now it's starting to be so saturated. How do I bring about differentiation?
So for you, and a big one for skincare, it's an area also I've looked at a little bit because a friend of mine is running a business here. Differentiate, because a lot of the products are very what you put, the ingredients, what you put in it is what matters, yeah? And a lot of packaging and issues like that. So for you, how you go to market is what it, so for advertising for you is going to be key, but not any advertising, influencer advertising is what will make a difference, right? And very immediately. So what you need to do is who your customers are, who will they listen to? Yeah, so it will not necessarily be you, but what testimonials can you actually provide from your customers? Yeah, but then also from other people who are willing to tell the story, because that market, the people who buy are more based from hearing that it works. It's very word of mouth driven, and word of mouth can be you saying, but then also can be other people saying on your behalf. So for you, differentiation would be a lot based on how you go to market, how you tell your story.
Amazing, amazing. The how you tell your story, amazing. Anthony Murugu is asking, Anthony is from Ukulima TV and Ukulima Magazine. When doing promotion or social media marketing, how do you check on your customer conversation? You talked a lot about that. How do they mine the data from social media?
So first of all, Anthony should share his, if he's in digital social media, he should be sharing his contacts here so that other people can give him gigs, yeah, to market for them. So digital social media is absolutely growing. So how do you tap into this? Honestly, what we do as Safaricom, we do a lot of polls. We ask a question on social media. How would you blah, blah, blah? And people really respond. And we ask a lot of questions, especially on things that customers consider pain points. So for example, people will come in and say, we realize they call the call center and their call drops. Nikipigia Safaricom hawashiki simu. That is a question. So what we post on social media would be, it's like, how, other than calling customer care, how else would you like to receive service from Safaricom? And we would put questions over there. Would it be maybe at a dealer, a Safaricom dealer, in a shop, or would you like on Twitter to be answered, social media or Facebook? So we put polls and people actually give you feedback. Mimi nimechoka hata kupiga simu kwa mshiki simu, so I prefer. And then people would also refer one another and tell them, ukieka kwa tweet, watajibu immediately. So they also begin supporting one another. So digital social media is your best bet for getting feedback from your customers. But be ready for rough feedback. It can be good and it can be bad. So be kwa kifua ikuwe iko strong to receive the other feedback as well, because it could go, definitely it could go either way.
Wow. Lots of questions, lots of SMEs. You know, when COVID hit, everyone was told, go online, go to Instagram, and then everyone is there. So in a market where many suppliers produce a similar product, this is from Catherine, how do you stand out or get a competitive edge and manage to sell your unique selling proposition? How do we stand out? Where there's so many similar products now. People are going into spaces with so many similar products. Maybe another comment on that.
Okay. Yes, that's a really good question and something you will always face, because as a business, as you grow, many other people see that you're growing and come into that space as well. I'll give you an example of furniture, yeah, and furniture on social media. So furniture, and this is custom-made furniture, but then also some that they do not custom made, but then do pieces that are the same. Yeah, so you can do either ironing boards, or you can do, cupboards that you store like potatoes, and you also store you know the way apartments have got small spaces, so they've got standard units that they sell. So standard units that you sell. So what has happened in this space is that it has become so saturated, and everyone is on Instagram and showing the pictures. So honestly, they all look the same, right? So the number one thing that I've seen differentiation coming on board very well is the branding of these pictures, so that when they circulate even to WhatsApp out of the social media, it is branded and your contacts are there. So one way of differentiating and you ensuring you get your own business, right? The second thing is, again, how. So there's one that I particularly like, they're called, I think, Impala Furniture. Impala Furniture is owned by a lady. That lady, how she posts tells her story of her furniture. Piece, every piece of furniture is a story. So the other day she posted a story and said it was a TV unit, yeah. And what she said in the caption was, does anyone else have a problem of taking a long time to decide which piece of furniture to buy, like me? She said, this TV unit is so nice, I should have produced it for myself. Can you imagine? I am a furniture producer and my TV is still on the coffee table, yeah? Then people started engaging. People said, oh gosh, it's such a beautiful piece. People ask, give me a contact, I want one like that. Other people are saying, goodness, you manufacture furniture and your TV is on a coffee table. It's not necessarily on a TV stand for this thing. So what am I saying? Her posts are so personal, they compel other people to tell their stories, evaluate their life, and actually make a purchase, right? So the differentiation will be based on that last point I made. What is inspiring you? There are many comedians in this world, yeah? There are many, you can sing Amazing Grace, but how will you sing your Amazing Grace? And it can't be told. You're the one who defines it for yourself, because it is personal, and that is what will make it different, one person to the other person.
Amazing. It goes back to Omar Bashir's question. Hello, as an SME founder, in order to tell our stories and do all these things, how can one handle both the role of sales and marketing manager? You're a founder, you're the marketer, you're the sales, you're everything. How do we best handle it?
So first of all, and I think Linda, maybe your best place to answer this question. But first of all, have hope. It will not always be like this. Yeah, it will not always be like this. It will shift. So, mateso ni kwa muda. It's the first. Let me give you that encouragement, right? But what you need to do, honestly, is prioritize. You need to do all those things as a founder. Yeah, you need to business develop, you need to do marketing, you need to do sales, you need to do, but they don't all have to be done at the same time. So where you are, it already sounds like sales is a higher priority than marketing. So here I am talking about marketing, but deprioritizing marketing. But why? Because there's a natural sequence to these things. If you hurry yourself up and try and do everything together, you will fail. That's why those 4 P's of marketing are actually 4 P's. You have to ensure you have your products. You actually have to ensure that it is placed. Logistics are there, that salespeople are helping you before you come to promotion. Yeah. So don't hurry yourself up unnecessarily. Yeah. And the things that you can do, ensure you seek help. You don't need to do marketing by yourself. You can, a relative can come and, okay, maybe relative is there, but somebody else who's not necessarily being paid a lot of money can come and help in some of the efforts before you provide time for that effort. So prioritize is the answer for you. You don't have to do everything at the same time.
And I think I would also answer that and add, as an SME founder, I know what you mean as well. You can split the roles amongst your employees, whether it's Instagram, this one handles, Facebook, this one. So you can always split. Everyone can become a marketer in the organization. So it is possible. It is possible. Don't spread yourself too thin as a founder. You have so many things to think about. You have to grow the business. You have to do what? So don't spread yourself thin. Share all the responsibilities where you can. Agnes Njiru is asking, I run a travel.
Linda, let me interrupt, please, because I've seen a response here that is very good. Every founder is the first and often best storyteller of the business. Let's teach our teams to tell the stories too. So just to emphasize the point that you have made, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful point. And I'll give an example, James Mwangi. James Mwangi, I tell his story even now, after I left Equity 3 years ago, because that man can sell his story, right? And he compels you to tell that story as well. So even years after, when you leave, as an employee, I'm telling his story as well. So I really love that point. Thank you for the contribution.
And it's absolutely true. Only the founders should tell the story. Yeah, don't really subcontract that. Yeah, that amazing grace, the founders must do it. Agnes Njiru, sorry, she was asking, I run a travel company. How can I deal with low return on investment? Yeah, especially after boosting the posters, doing promotions, ads, and etc. I saw another question on from Mark Pascal asking about social media ads and all those things. After you've done all those things, for example, so 2 questions in one. One, should they do social media ads and all that? And then 2, after you've done all those things, posters and all that, yeah, how do you deal with low return on investment, yeah, after doing all that?
Yeah, so that is taking in the lesson. Yeah, that for me is direct. There's something that low return on investment is telling you. Either you targeted wrongly, yeah, either the posts when you promoted, either they went out at the wrong time, or there's something that happened that is not returning to your business. So picking the lesson is absolutely critical. And that's why for social media is a very good angle to go, because you don't have to do big bang. You do small. So for example, if you had gone ahead and done, I don't know, you had promoted and you were looking at women who are whatever, maybe women who are mothers who are what, you need to go down and target a little bit more. Yeah, so maybe you need to put the age factor there, and then also need to say somebody who has looked at. That's the beauty of social media, is that you can keep on refining and refining. You can even say, for me, I sell Pampers. I want to sell Pampers to somebody who has looked at, maybe has looked at formula. Yeah, because if they bought formula, then these people most likely will do Pampers. So you can, with other, because you see the intent is there. So it means the targeting, take the lesson. The point here I'm saying, if the return on investment is not coming in, there's a lesson there about either your targeting was wrong or something. So you need to learn, refine, and when you're going back, you go back smaller so that you see if it will help. So don't start off big.
Wow. Amazing. Take the lessons. And should they do social media ads and all? Should they try those ones?
Try social media ads. Definitely try social media ads, guys. That's where your people are. People are in social media. Either they're very active or they are, scanning, they're participating themselves or scanning, but they definitely get a lot of ideas there. It doesn't matter the age, you just need to be in social media. But before you go into social media, also know, where is your customer? Because social media is many things, right? So for example, the older customer will be in Facebook. Yeah, the younger customer will be in TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, so you don't have to spread yourself and go in all of them. You can see, if I know your customer could be in WhatsApp. So all you need, like now I told you that story of the clothing business. That one, even though she goes and posts in Facebook, it won't help her because her customers don't want their clothes to be seen on somebody else. So that one you just have to do individual, But when you sell one, it is high value, so it returns for you. So it's not one blanket answer. You have to know your customer, but definitely try social media. That one is a guaranteed bit for this one. Try in little bits. It definitely helps.
Okay. A couple of comments. Saum, great to see you. She's saying, I believe the market is big enough for all of us, as long as you identify your market segment. You also need to think beyond operating with big cities only. There's business away from Nairobi. I like that. Yeah. And then Rahab is reiterating the digital training opportunities. KEPSA had one e-commerce booster. If you want to learn more about mining data and etc., there was that program. I don't know whether it will come back again, but watch out for that from KEPSA. Let me see if I have, there are many questions. Let me see if I missed others. Talk about CSR in marketing. What's the role of CSR in marketing?
Okay, CSR is huge, in marketing, but also depending on the product that you're doing and your overall objective for marketing. So I'll tell you, I'll give you and I like using examples because it makes it real. So for Equity Bank does not market a lot, right? But for them, they've deliberately gone behind Wings to Fly as a main to soften the brand, because what they realized is all these banks give loans, all these banks compete on a rate card that is very similar. So what will differentiate us? What will make people endear to our brand? And they realize the key need for Kenyans is education, and people suffer a lot on this one. So by that mere program of wings to fly, they do their marketing. So yes, CSR is very important because people come to equity because we are lisomesha. Equity lisomesha, I saw this villager, there's a story, yeah? And those are the things that make people stay within brands. So it's important, but don't stretch yourself. You don't necessarily need to go to CSR before it is time. So you're trying to be a founder, you're trying to be a marketer, you're trying to be a sales director, and now you're also trying to do CSR. No. You don't have to do all of those things, but figure out, because also CSR, what it does is helps the company bond, yeah? So it could be something as tree planting. It's part of your organizational event, as you people to go to bond. It will be, you're doing something good for the environment. You can post this in social media, and you can do tree planting is a thing that you do as a company. This furniture shop that I was looking, they're called Fun Homes. For them, what they are doing is helping people plant trees because it makes sense, because they get their resources from trees. So also CSR is not for the sake of CSR. Ensure it has a link to your business. EABL does a lot on water, yeah? Water generation, giving people water, clean water, and all of that, because a huge resource of making alcohol is water. So they want that to keep on regenerating. So CSR should be based off of your business need or strategy or something, not for the sake of it.
Amazing, very good response. Talk about, there's so many questions, by the way. Ted Chege, I'll take another 5 minutes. Tim, please allow me to extend. Ted Chege is asking if as SME, I want to engage the services of an advertising agency. Would you advise I outsource, or what should we do it ourselves? Yeah, should SMEs really work with advertising agencies?
No. It will be expensive. It will be expensive. But what I was saying, talk to those advertising agencies. You will meet 1 or 2 employees who are willing to do for you this job, yeah, as a side hustle, because they on Saturday, Sunday, they are not working. And social media is such that you can actually plan all the posts you want for the next week and pre-plan them, yeah? So employees in these organizations can extend themselves. I know it could be an ethical issue. It's a bit borderline, but what I realized is that when you are bootstrapping, when you're trying to think of, you have to be innovative as well. So let it be the decision for the person within there, because they do have the capacity. Most of them are found. They do have the capacity to extend a little bit more. But you directly to go and pay them, it's a little bit expensive. You have to be a bit bigger. But they do give you value. The point is that they give you value. So it's a balance of, do you think you've reached there as a business or not?
Kavin Oguta is asking, I wish the presentation touched on discount pricing. Talk about discounts, discount promotions and all that, where the differentiation is very low. A lot of people seem to be struggling with this differentiation. Talk about promotional strategies. Discount is one of them, but maybe some comments around that.
Okay. So I'm wondering which example should I give? The discount, so pricing discount. Okay, so let me give you an example of Smirnoff. Smirnoff, when we started off as vodka, at that time, the pricing strategy for all vodkas, even now, is around the same, right? And then there was a competitor product at the time, let me refrain from naming, so let's call it X, right? That came into the market and did a brilliant job. So what they did is, from a pricing perspective, but also placement perspective. So vodka was, let's say it was priced at, let's say 800 bob for a 1 liter bottle, yeah? Their bottle was also 1 liter and had very similar, vodka is vodka, tasteless, smellless, clear liquid, right? So what they did in their strategy is, wherever Smirnoff was, is they placed X vodka next to it, right? But instead of putting it at Smirnoff vodka would be 800, they would be at 750. So we spent a lot of time advertising Smirnoff. So someone says, vodka is a thing for me. When you go to the store, you will go and see X vodka next to Smirnoff, looking almost the same, but with a 50 difference. These people bait us. These people gave me nightmares because now we had to go and tell them, you can't place Smirnoff next to this X vodka. We had to build danglers to separate Smirnoff from them. And it was a placement strategy based off of price, right? Because they are slightly cheaper, but they wanted to be associated with the goodness of Smirnoff and the advertisement of there. So you can play off from that perspective, from a placement perspective. Now, discounts, you have to, there are various ways of doing discounts. So you can either do it from a seasonal perspective, but you have to have your bottom line. There's a line where you have to say, below this point, I can't, because you begin eating yourself, yeah? But you can say, this product will probably be the one that will be driving the discount for me. Good example is what Nakumat used to do. They would be expensive on certain elements, but then on a pricing perspective for unga, I think it was unga, sugar, and rice. 3 things, they were either 5 bob shillings, that less than everyone else. So those things used to bring people to Nakumat. Now, when you're there, you just tell yourself, let me buy, bread, mafuta, so they would get people foot traffic into there from a discount perspective. So you as a business, you can say, this one for me, it will be at cost, so that I can be able to get people into my business to buy these other products. But you have to be ready, therefore, when they come in to buy this other product. But always have a bottom. You can't go below this, because then it will be loss generating for you. And you and your competitors will draw yourself to the bottom. Right now, that's what the telco industry is doing. We are pushing ourselves to the bottom. And we, as Safaricom, we are very conscious about how do we play this best, so that we don't kill the entire industry because of discounts. So you have to be very, very careful. DSTV used to do their offers once a year in December. And December, then that's when they would push most of their sales. The other time would be, around the football season. So it can be cyclical as well in terms of when you push. Terrific Tuesday was another one that was done for Pizza Inn to drive footfall on Tuesday. So buy 1 pizza, get 1 pizza free. So different industries have got different mechanics, but discount pricing is very useful. Ensure it doesn't run you at a loss though.
Amazing. And it can be at certain points, like you're saying, that's very interesting. It can just be on the Tuesdays, same product, the rest it comes. It can be very interesting, yeah. So there are various strategies. You've talked about placements as well, how that can drive a discount. Amazing, a lot of things. I hope you guys are taking notes. And so Benjamin was actually asking, how do you ensure discounts at certain times? Doesn't mean that you've compromised the quality of the product. You have your answers there as well. You can put it maybe on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, it goes back to regional price. So he's talking about discount pricing and quality of product. Very interesting, very interesting. Other questions, talk about to people as a last question, people in services. I see Mwembe as well, construction, yeah? People in services, consulting, capacity building, construction, for example, it's something you do once and then you do for long. How do you sell such things? Construction, people in construction services, what? Consulting. That's as the last question. I've been told our time is completely maxed. I know there are so many questions, guys, but our time is maxed.
Okay, so I'll touch on that one very shortly. Now, and this is an area not spoken about a lot, right? But this is one of the areas where the key thing, construction, service industry, whatever it is, the key thing is your service, right? So word of mouth is a marketing strategy that for years has worked for so many different industries within the service industry, yeah? So your work begets work. Yeah. So how you treat your customer, how they feel when you're doing that one construction. Yeah. So the whole customer experience is what keeps you within business, right? So that, and now the question is, how do you deliver word of mouth? Because word of mouth can be you talking about it, or it can be your customers talking to one another about it, yeah, or your customers talking generally about it. But it's all based off of the customer experience. So if you're consulting, if you do one job badly, just know that will cost you so much, because you wouldn't necessarily go and, you know, do advertising and people will forget. That one person will tell so many people about it and it will cost you. But if you do one job well, it will beget so many more jobs going forward. So for you, customer experience is key. And then from there, ask your people, recommend me. Yeah. So this is what I find many businesses are shy to do. Yeah. But you have to ask people, and even social media has got tools to say, if you like my business, recommend me to your friends. And it's digital, those technology things. And if you click the button recommend, they tell you, write the email address of this person, blah, 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 and that will come to me. So it will be my lead. I'm the one who will follow up, yeah? So it's not giving problems to your customer to follow up on your behalf, right? So, but ask the question, can you recommend to me customers? Who else do you think likes this service? Who do you know in your networks? So let your customers do the work for you. It's the easiest way to break through, word of mouth.
Very well answered. For services, referrals, word of mouth, and then telling those stories is key. Amazing, amazing. Talk about, there's so many questions that are coming to me directly. I think today, so many questions. Talk about the last one, team, the last one. Talk about business to business marketing. Yeah, business to business marketing. Is that possible? How can we do it? Yeah, business to business marketing.
That one, Linda, I think I'll have to ask for a special session, because why am I saying that? At Safaricom, EBU, we've also been going through a very intense lesson of how we do business to business marketing. Yeah, it's enterprise business unit, right? So there's so many insights on how you can ensure you talk to business without necessarily advertising. Because when you're talking to other business, it's not straight to consumer. So advertising is not it. Yeah, but in general, the one thing that I can say for business to business, just like service industry, it's based off of customer experience, right? So who you service, business begets business when it comes to that, yeah. And a key element within that has been, how do you get your customers to recommend you to that? And there are various tactics within that. So it's a little bit of a this one, it's a bit of a broad session that requires its own sort of session, so that we can talk about it. But it's very interesting. It's very possible. It's very ignored. So very many businesses are losing out, including us. We are learning. Safaricom is learning how to market to other businesses. Yeah, so I think it's something to engage on.
Wow. Well, today, you guys, the questions are so many. Yeah, and the time is completely gone. Fred, I know some of you are telling me, Linda, ask my question. Okay, last one, team, last one, yeah, because the questions are really good. Please allow me the last one now. Where you need very small margins to survive. This is from Frederick Wampua. What product matrix can one use to make more profit? Yeah, so he works in Eastlands, especially in Nairobi. For once to survive, you need very small margins because of the competition. What product matrix can one use to make more profit? Very, very nice questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a small margin business, the trick is volume, right? So now woe unto you, especially if you're in Eastlands, many similar businesses can come around you, right? So the question you need to keep on asking yourself, because you don't want to increase price, because business customers will go away. There are probably going to be other competitors who will come and undercut you and whatnot. So for you, volume is key. So your thinking should be around volume. Yeah. So you should start thinking even how you should supply your competitors, for example, or you should. So your thinking becomes, how do I get volume? Yeah, because your margins will always be the same. How do you backward integrate? How do I go back to either people who are supplying you or whatever your business is? I don't know, but how do I go back to ensure I save there so that in front, when I'm dealing with the customer, it's easier, it's faster. How do I sell in bulk? If, for example, you sell books, how do I sell into schools directly? In EABL is also a small margin business. So for them, volume is very important. So distribution channel becomes absolutely key for businesses like this. Yeah. So it's about, how do I get this person to resell for me? Yeah. How do I get this person into my distribution channels so that they can be able to be part of ensuring volume or bulk sales are gotten? How do I get, there's some bars used which, because they were high volume, like Simas in town was very high volume. So those ones, instead of going through a distributor, how do I drop directly to places like that? I service them directly as a direct sales channel so that they never miss volume. So like, for example, if Saturday they are there and then Sunday they haven't banked, so they're not able to, I ensure I drop them on the product on Sunday so that they don't miss the sales for Sunday. So it's really, your main frame should be volume. Sure. Then you start looking for a solution around volume.
Well, Irene, well, I feel like we should have had a whole 1.5 hours of Q&A. There's so very many, sorry guys. We'll have another session on B2B marketing, hopefully at some point. KEPSA will organize that. Like, so many questions. It seems marketing is really making people, social media ads, it's really making people have nightmares. So at this point, guys, I want us to thank Irene on the chat, says Asante, and all that. Shukura, I know you guys are saying very well done, presented, we need more, all those things. So thank you, Irene, for making the time. On behalf of KEPSA, MasterCard, and ourselves at the SME Support Center, we really, really, really appreciate so many insights. Yeah, real, Alvaro, EABL, Safaricom, mingi sana. So I'll now ask, please stay, guys, don't leave. I'll ask the team to run the post-mentorship survey, post-training survey. Let us get your feedback. Your feedback is what helps us do more training. So James, please go ahead. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I've overrun time, but there's so many questions. Sorry.
Thank you, Linda. So we are going to do our post-training survey just to get your feedback on how the session was. It feels electrifying, but it's also good you share with us. So as we did in the morning, you can use your smartphone or you can use your computer. Just open a new browser and go to www.menti.com and then type in the code. It's still the same code that you're going to use, 69 26 55 14. So using your smartphone or your computer, go to your browser and type in www.menti.com. You'll be asked for the code, and the code is 69 26 55 14. So this is where we shall be doing our live feedback, just to get a feel of how the session was. So I'll be going to my first question, even as more people continue to join. And this is, tell us how satisfied were you with the overall training content? So can you tell us how satisfied were you with the overall training content? For those who are still joining, the link is available on the screen, www.menti.com. And the code has also been shared on chat, 69 26 55 14. So this is where we are doing our live feedback. So I don't know, I can't see some people sharing the feedback. Not sure whether I have a challenge. So just pick up the code, www.menti.com, and then type in the code 69 26 55 14. My team can help share it on chat for people to just share and get to share their feedback.
Sure. Guys, I'll put the code on the chat and please go ahead. Yeah. Use your phone browser, any browser.
Yes, just share. Once you log in, you're going to get me on the first question. That is, how satisfied were you with the overall training content? And then you can just pull in the bar between 0 to for dissatisfied and 5 for very satisfied. And then you can share your score.
I think, James, they're actually sharing, but it's like the feedback is not recording on Menti. They're saying we're sharing, but it's not reflecting.
Sorry about that. My screen might have freezed.
Yeah. There you
yeah,
go.
sorry about that. I think my screen had freezed. Thank you for that. Let's move to the next question. I can see we have 72 for this first question and for 4.8 out of 5. Question 2, can you tell us how relevant and helpful do you think it was for your business? Can you tell us how relevant and helpful it was for your business? 0 for not helpful, and pull in the bar up to 5 for very helpful. So tell us how relevant it was for your business. Can you share your feedback? Still can't see, not sure if my screen also has freezed again. Sorry for technology. I think just for technology, yeah. So we have 77 who have shared their feedback. We go to the next question. Which sessions did you find most relevant? Can you tell us which sessions you found most relevant? How well do you know your customer? Understanding your business environment playing field, setting marketing goals and targets, and lastly, digital and social media as an enabler. So these are the ones that we covered in our pre-training survey. And now we want to get feedback on how relevant they were. So can you just share your feedback? So I can see we have quite a high feedback. We have 56 who have already shared their feedback. So I'll move on to the next question. Kindly evaluate the following statements based on your experience in the training. The training was informative. The training met my expectations, and the training helped me understand the concepts better. And the training was well prepared, and the facilitator contributed to the success of the training. There was enough time to cover the topics. So kindly share your feedback. Sorry for today, just that technical hitch with the phrase, but you'll still continue getting your feedback. So I can see 52 of you have shared their feedback, and the training was well prepared. It's taking the lead. So we go to the next question. Tell us, what learnings from the training will you apply? So what learnings from this training are you going to apply? In 2 words, in 1 word, what learnings are you going to apply in this training? So kindly just share your feedback. I can see marketing budget. If somebody says everything. So can you tell us what learnings are you going to apply? So I can only see 2 feedback here. So let me go to the next question. Any specific feedback on the overall training content that we could have covered in order to fully meet your expectations? Can you share any specific feedback that we could have covered to meet your expectations? So I can see we have no, not applicable. So, and this is our last question. So kindly, I think I can hand over to Linda, even as we get more feedback on this. And sorry for the technical hitch. We will work on it so that we don't have it next time. Yeah, over to you, Linda.
Yeah, so please go ahead and keep giving your feedback. We shall collect it in the back end. Thank you. Irene, you can clearly see guys have not had enough of you. Guys want you back. And so for guys, thank you so much. You can keep tweeting on the hashtag KEPSA empowers MSMEs. Thank you to everyone who joined. For more information about KEPSA, they can put it on the chat. For more information about SSC, our goal is to bring extremely good trainers, industry practitioners. We work with very, very many companies to support as many SMEs as possible. So please register on our platform as well. We have so many goodies to share. I say we have so many goodies to share, and our mission is very simple: to scale up and impact as many SMEs as possible. Whether it's on the finance side, we have many opportunities, whether it's on the market side, and whether it's on the capacity building side. We have that joint vision, I think, with KEPSA, and we are complementing each other. So guys, team, please put for me. I saw James, you had put the membership at KEPSA, but plug in, guys, e-commerce booster. Some of you are asking about e-commerce. You were asking, you put a LinkedIn ad and it didn't work. That e-commerce booster training is what will help. That e-commerce booster training, yeah. Some of them we can't go on directly here, but some of these trainings, sign up when you see them. Social media, our social media will always share a lot of these things. And KEPSA social media, KEPSA YouTube, this is available. Next mentorship is a morning coffee with a leading male CEO. Where next mentorship, itakuwa kali, eh? So register for the next session, itakuwa kali, eh? You see, we bring you nothing but the best. We are a big team, we are very passionate. We bring you nothing, we take this very seriously. I personally take it. We take it seriously. James, Leod, Harrison, team, all of us. I hope I have not missed school, but I mean Boniface, everyone, Daniel from my team, Frida, Michelle, Yvette, and Joanne now. Guys, this is for you. So plug in, please register for the next session as you sign out. So guys, you can say kwaheri. The next session is on it's not next Friday, it's the other Friday. We've been doing 2 weeks now. So register for the next session. It will be a morning session with a leading male CEO. Where you see how I'm excited. We always have an exciting time. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming again and again. Wanjao, asante sana. All of you guys. Asante Saum, Gatweri, every one of you who keeps coming again and again. Nduku Mutua, I see your comment. Yeah, I saw how you struggled for 1 year trying to get the customer right. Yeah, so the lesson you've taken, it just doesn't work, right? You've tried various marketings. Yeah, you've been trying to get them to try something new for a year. Don't wait for a year. Lesson is just doesn't work. Yeah, go where your customer is. I like that. Nduku, thank you for the parting shot. Asante. Yeah, that's amazing. Go where your customer is. Where I see you guys were learning. Yeah, I see you guys were learning. So if you have a parting shot, put it on chat as we sign out. Yeah, if you have a parting shot, put it on chat and I'll give you a shout out. Yeah, if you have a parting shot, put it on chat. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. This is for you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Yeah. Emma is saying, I look forward to B2B. I know Emma had a meeting she had to cancel. Emma, you had a meeting you had to cancel because you couldn't miss. Emma, B2B, Kweli, we'll see. Yeah. Simon Ahago, get to know what your clients want to know. Where? Asante sana. Molly Mox Madenge, don't stretch your budgets for the sake of CSR. Love it. Yeah. Time limited targets. Asanteni sana. Yeah. Steve Biko, of course. Thank you to you too. Yeah. Lucy saying time limited targets is the way to go. Yeah. You snooze, you lose. Yeah. There's a mentor who told us you snooze, you lose. Okay. You snooze, it drives me crazy. You snooze, you lose. Every time you snooze, people come in and take over. So time limited targets. I like that. Anthony Murugu saying, Kepsa, this is yours. Many claps to you, Kepsa. Many claps to you, Kepsa. Anthony, wameipata. Anita Japto, know your why. I agree. What is your amazing grace? Well, Kweli. Lots to take. Felicitas, what is your why? Exactly. Solomon Chogo, targeted marketing saves you the hassle. I like that. Targeting marketing saves you the hassle of investing in the wrong audience. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Amazing. Yeah, amazing. Hey, you guys today have really learned. I'm seeing, yeah, Frederick Wambua, you learned a lot about product matrix and selling more volumes. Kweli, uko Eastlands, lazima wakutambue Frederick. Sasa, volumes, I loved that answer. It was just amazing. So go back to the Kepsa YouTube channel, you'll see the video. I'll also rewind it on my end and just go through it pole. Yeah. So if you have slow margins, sell more volumes. Frederick, I like that. Yeah. Anthony Morigu, don't limit your capability. Asante kweli. Yeah. Don't limit your capability. So guys, sign up for the next session. I'm just giving you 1 more minute. The team is about to kill me because we are completely done. Hannah Marubu, do a vision with your purpose. Kweli, yeah. Do a vision with your purpose. Dixon, content is king. And remember to always keep it simple. Yeah, Irene emphasizes that. It's how do you sell the story? Well, so many lessons, yeah, so many. Yeah, content is king. Yeah, remember to always keep it simple. How do you sell your story? Amazing. I loved that. Yeah, for more support from the center as well, register and become part of our great mission and become part of our we have so many goodies to share together with Kepsa. We have so many goodies to share. Ian Washira, Mount Kenya Network, karibu sana. Karibuni sana, good people. And I think as a team, Joseph Morethi, great to see you. Some of you, it's like, I feel like I know you guys because we've interacted every single time. Guys, asanteni sana. I see we are still 136. You don't want to leave. But as soon as you register, let's sign out. Charles Chogo, thank you for being so active on the chat. Asante to you. Please feel free to sign out now. We are going to completely close the call in a few seconds. Eric, you said you've made an impact on my business going forward and my story. Yeah. Thanks, Linda and Kepsa. Big up to all the participants. Yes, big up to you all. DJ Medan, big up to you as well. I know you said you've learned so much. All of you guys, big up to you. Simon, I want to read your message, but it's going away. I hope we shall capture all this team and all these results. Guys, I hope we shall capture all this. Boniface, Bonnie, I hope you're there. And the entire marketing team at Kepsa, I hope you guys are there. Yeah, I hope you're capturing everything. So thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. See you for the morning coffee with the leading CEO, Kwaherini. Thank you, guys. I see you.